That's what every other podcast does. They do
Are you saying
Joe Rogan is episode 563.
Yeah, so you're saying your mom was right.
Mom, I just said that. Why you gotta
Sort
put it
of.
in my face?
You half-assed that.
I said just like you said.
That
it
I
works.
was right.
Is it a right or wrong thing, Mom? I think I'm right.
No, I want to be one with you, so it's not right or wrong. But I was right.
We're not getting into this.
Episode
I'm right
24.
about a lot of things.
This is episode 24. That's all we need to worry about.
All right, guys, what is going on? This is episode 24 of the Do Not Do Stupid Shit. Oh, I fucked that one up. Hold on.
What was the fuck up?
Do not do stupid shit.
Well, I mean,
Don't
I
do
was going to
stupid
say you're
shit.
being very articulate.
No.
It's technically don't, but that's all right.
All right, look. This is episode 24 of the Don't Do Stupid Shit podcast, hosted by myself, Jesh, and my mother, Christina.
Hi.
It's been about 2 months now, I think, since we put out our last podcast episode, and we got some reasons for that. We've been focused on some other content and stuff. Hasn't been intentional. It's also been really hard for us to like get together and be able to film all of it at the same time. Not to mention, as you can see, if you've been watching, we upgraded some equipment so that the quality is better.
And it's definitely less mobile friendly. It's
That's
good,
true.
but with how much we move around and how much I travel, finding a time that we can be stationary in the same spot like this is becoming a bit of a challenge, but we're going to make it a priority.
It's a bit more difficult, but I think that it's worth it in terms of like the quality. And I mean, you guys let us know in the comments if you've listened to the previous episodes and stuff. Does this sound better?
Yeah. Does it sound better? Because
I think it's kind of cool. I'm kind of nerding out. I bought a bunch of equipment and different stuff, and I've just been nerding out. But anyways, so I guess we wanted to kind of use this time in this episode to like talk about some of the content that I've been doing and Mom and me have been doing outside of the podcast. Maybe you're new here and you're coming from that content.
yes.
We've been filming reaction videos, and
Yep.
this has been something that me and Mom have talked about doing since I was in high school, junior high. I've always been super into music and hip hop, specifically rap. And I used to play a lot of music that Mom was not very fond of. And at some point we got into this thing where I would be like, Mom, give me your analysis, break it down for me. What are they saying? What do you hear? Like, what do you understand? And it was super entertaining.
Because I don't understand much.
She doesn't understand much of what they're saying sometimes, but you're also a very like smart person. And
Well, and I'm also super like into listening to like a lyric, and I'm always trying to find what the meaning in a song is.
right. I think it's pretty funny when, you know, we're listening to this hip hop rap music and there's all this lingo that you're just like, what the fuck are they saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And trying to figure it out. So anyways, the last couple months we've been doing these reaction videos on my YouTube channel, Janitor Jesh. Go and check them out. And it's been pretty interesting to say the least. You know, everything has been going well. Like, people have been watching these videos, and for the most part, I'd say they're enjoying them. I would hope. But
Yeah.
there's also been, I kind of set Mom up a couple times with some very like politically driven songs. And there's been some debating in the comments.
Didn't I?
You delivered for sure.
If you know me at all, so for those of you that don't, those of you that are here, I'm a pretty middle of the road person, but I definitely have some strong opinions about things. So even though I don't tend to fall one side or the other of the political spectrum, at least here in the US, I'm definitely more middle ground. I have some opinions. I think I'm well enough researched to be able to back those up, but it's incredible how many people can find offense with other people's opinions if it doesn't line up with their own.
I think one of the funniest aspects to this whole deal so far has been, I feel like on Facebook and stuff, people argue in the comments, and this I think it's been pretty funny watching you get into like these debates with people in the comments.
I feel like I never really debate. I'm more just like settle the score. So like they'll make a comment and then some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I'm responding to that. And so then I'll respond and I'll kind of say my piece with like my information. And then I usually leave it with a like, take care. Like, I'm not coming back to this.
It's always the little peace sign, the peace emoji. You always leave that.
I do.
You always say take care with the peace emoji. What, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, one, I always say peace at the end of these because it's kind of my way of like signing off. But the take care with the peace emoji is kind of like a fuck you, basically. It's my way of like saying goodbye.
Sounds passive aggressive.
It is 100% passive aggressive. And it's definitely my way of like saying fuck off without fuck off, get lost. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. No, it's been really interesting seeing what some people have to say.
Yeah.
Like people will say anything on the internet sometimes.
Oh, for sure. When you're hiding behind a keyboard, like, and you don't actually know the person or you're engaged with them at all, you can absolutely feel like you can say whatever you want with like no regrets.
I would say for the most part, though, I don't feel like there's been a ton of like hate. I feel like there's been some people, obviously, that's just the internet.
Yeah, there's for sure.
Will hate or say dumb stuff. But there's been far more like support and like people showing love and stuff than there has been negative feedback. Maybe.
Yeah, they're definitely like groups, right? So like there's the ones that can say like, oh, I don't agree with what your mama has to say, or I don't agree with her version of history or whatever it is. But we're all here. We all get to have an opinion. Like that's what makes this country great. And it is, that's true. And then there's the ones that like, you can tell, I kind of chalk them up to the people that lack intelligence. I'm going to be brutally honest here. If you come on a comment section and you're like, you're a moron, my take on that is like, oh, you don't have enough brains to form an actual opinion and like write a cohesive sentence about something. So you're going to be like, you're an idiot. That
is the internet.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is I feel like the internet lacks a huge amount of like intelligent conversation, which I wish wasn't the case because I think sometimes intelligent conversation, even if you disagree with somebody, is the very thing that like opens people up to being able to consider other points of view. And it's that mutual ability to see other people's points of view, whether in the end you agree or not, that I think kind of brings us all back to the like relative humanity. And that's that we're all in this journey together and everybody has a different set of circumstances that they're, operating from.
People just go to the comment sections to spew bullshit sometimes, though.
That's true. Again,
I feel like some people have bad days and just go on YouTube and find videos that they can just, fuck you guys. You guys fucking suck.
Are you speaking from experience over there?
No.
No? You never did that?
I don't do that.
That's like me road raging in the car when I like just yell at people because I'm like, they're never going to hear me. And it's like, I can let it out without now. And when I say road rage, I don't drive crazy, but like just yelling randomly at things, it's like a great way to let off steam and nobody gets hurt because nobody hears it.
To be honest, I've never really been like an internet troll. Like I'll go on and like voice my opinion or like say certain stuff. But one, the main reason I would say is because most of the time I'm on like my personal account and I don't want it to get banned.
That's true.
Two, I just don't really have the energy to go looking to like, hate on people on the internet.
Yeah, that's good.
It just feels like a waste of time.
It is a waste of time.
Like, you don't got something better to do? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying is it blows my mind that people will take the time to comment something that like has no intelligent value simply for the sake of commenting. It's so funny to me because there's one guy, actually, I'll bring this up because I just replied to him last night.
Told you to stop replying.
No, listen, no. This is a good one. He's commented a couple times on a couple different videos, basically saying like how stupid I am or like how, whatever it is that he's saying. And so last night I commented and I said, it's so weird because yet here you are again. It's almost like you might actually be a fan.
Yeah, the ones that come back just to talk shit.
Exactly. I'm like, all right. And then I said, I did level this one because I think it's true. I was like, this often happens with women haters who find themselves in love with a woman and they don't know how to deal with their feelings, you might want to get some therapy. That's actually what I said.
I think therapy is good for everyone.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
Speaking of, BetterHelp. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We don't have a sponsor.
We don't, but we
hey,
do think
BetterHelp,
it's a
if
good
you're
spot.
watching this, come sponsor us and we can help people get therapy.
Yeah, because we're into that. We believe in that.
You know what BetterHelp is, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's actually the one we talked about before. I think Justin Bieber helped like fund that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of YouTubers that are like, they're sponsoring and stuff, but
Yeah, therapy for all. That's definitely on my list to when I become president.
I think, so obviously, like I said, it's been a couple months, like 2 months since we put out the last episode, and I apologize. We plan on being more consistent now that we have everything kind of together, but I do think doing like episodes like this every so often, where it's kind of like a milestone check-in, like almost like where thing, realistically, like I started this whole like content creation journey, like 10 months ago now?
Yeah.
I think it's been about 10 months.
Yep, that's correct.
And the growth for the first little while with the podcast and the YouTube channel and all of that, it was pretty slow, right?
Your camera's up there, by the way.
Yeah, no,
I know
was
you're
looking at
watching, you're
something.
monitoring, you're multitasking.
I was looking at something. Sorry, we don't have like an actual producer that's, looking at the wave files and everything, making sure it's working
So
correctly.
you're producing
So
and
I'm like,
starring
I'm trying to multitask here, you
and
know?
directing.
Yeah. Yeah, no cap. But damn, you made me lose my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were talking about like this content creation that you've been doing.
Right. Yeah.
the
So
progression.
the first little while, right? And I feel like this will be a good episode for anybody that's also like maybe thinking about starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or something like that, because
Get yourself a mom like
we're
me.
giving you like a perfect example. I'm
not
not
even-
listening to you because I'm going to lose my train of thought again.
Okay.
You distract me. We're like the perfect example of just some normal random people trying to like start this stuff. And we've talked about this, like coming from the ground up. We don't have any platform that either of us were already, big on, and we're able to kind of transfer, followers or this and that over to something else. So 10 months in, and I think the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel is at like 2,100 subscribers right now.
Yeah.
And it just started to really like pick up motion, like
In the last like 4 or 5 weeks.
in the last 4 or 5 weeks with these reaction videos and some of that stuff.
I'm up to 4 subscribers.
What's this YouTube channel? The podcast, you said it's like 74 subscribers. Yeah. Listen, this may not seem crazy to anybody, but for us and for me personally, like I'm grateful. Like I'm seeing growth. I'm seeing consistent growth, whether it's, a couple subscribers a day or not. I'm in this deal for the long run. Like I have the plan to stick around and keep working at this for however long it takes over the next, few years, whatever. And I'm very, very confident that we'll be able to make this happen. I'll be able to make it happen. I don't know if I'm that entertaining, but maybe I'll get funnier as time goes on, I think that's part of the journey.
It is. Yeah, but you're doing a lot of like the heavy lifting as far as like the equipment and learning and editing and like all of the kind of and the research and all that kind of stuff. I just get to show up and kind of bullshit around with you, which is really fun and I like it.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a good thing.
I'm gonna start making you do this shit.
I know.
You're gonna start editing. You're gonna start doing all this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he keeps saying that, but he's
no. Well, that
you're
was
kind
part
of
of
a
the
perfectionist, so I don't know if you'd be okay with.
I'm gonna be honest.
My quality.
Even the couple times that I've actually paid somebody to edit the shit, and I'm like in my head, like, fuck, I can just do that and do it better. Like, so I don't even think I want anybody really touching any of the content I put out or we put out together. For now, at least, until I get to the point, or we get to the point maybe where I can really pay somebody that's like, industry, worked with a ton of other people.
You're going to actually be giving them direction and they're going to be doing it the way
and they're
going to
understand it fully. The first 7 months was a lot of learning, a lot of just late nights watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out little things, little pieces, trying to figure out viral content ideas, this and that. I probably have 1,000+ video ideas in my notes right now that could be viral video ideas, but it's really difficult, again, if you don't come into some of this stuff with like the infrastructure, mainly the money,
It's
to
money.
be able to make it happen. Like,
well, it's money and understanding and knowledge. Like you've been on a steep learning curve. And then also figuring out, I think one of the biggest things that has been interesting to me is that it's finding out where our audience is, where the niche is that fits our personalities, the things that
it's niche.
Niche. Okay. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Keep going.
Niche. I think it could be both.
I think it's
potato,
niche.
potato.
All right. Yeah.
Tomato. Feels the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Keep going.
Anyway, I think it's finding your groove, like something that you're doing, that you're putting out that one, you like, two, that's representative, like your personality and the things that you're into. And that three is going to kind of resonate and like people are going to be like, yeah, I get this. I get these people, or I like what I'm seeing. And so, we started this wanting to do a podcast because we talked about it over the pandemic, like everybody did. And that was just a lot about us wanting to share our personal growth journeys and the things that we've gone through. And in that process of the last couple of years, there's been some life altering things that have occurred. So it's really been alive, real. You're watching us grow and change as people in the journey of life. So it is very real and it's very raw. And then from there, it was finding like content that was fun, that felt authentic, that felt like things that you like, and then like the videos, like you and I both are super into music and we both love to like talk about that stuff and listen to it together. And, some of my favorite memories was my grandpa sitting down, listening, asking my aunties to come in and be like, play me what the kids are listening to. So like, I love listening to the stuff that you guys are listening to, even though it might not be anything that I would put on my own time. But then some of it is like, you've introduced me to some music that I'm like, yeah, I dig this. I love it. So I think that's a big part of it, is figuring out where you fit in this big wide world of like internet and connection and social media and content creation.
For sure.
You got to find what feels right and authentic to who you are, and then know that there's like 7 billion people on the planet. So there's going to be enough people that want to come along the journey with you.
For sure. And that's all part of the growth and the process. I've said it since the very start. I don't want to put myself into a box in terms of like the type of content I can create. I want to be able to try to like create a bunch of different content, whether it's like challenge videos, videos to do with music or reactions or, fun video. Like I want to do all sorts of different stuff, but it's also very difficult with how the algorithms work and how these platforms work in terms of like, if you're making all this different content that's like scattered across the board, they don't know who to like push you to. Like, who's your target audience, right?
Right.
For example, I've been looking at some of the analytics, right, on the YouTube channel. The first couple reaction videos were like 80% people between the ages of 35 to 65. And those were like...
those were the political ones that you did.
For
right
sure,
off
but...
the gate. Yeah.
The point being is like, I find it very interesting to see like the different demographics that engage in the videos.
God, can I pipe up and say that? Like this is the first time I'm hearing the demographics that were on that like first couple of videos. And listen, the most nastiest comments and rudest behavior was from those videos, which of course they were 35 to 65 year olds.
We're not going to get into why, but I think we all know why.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's pretty obvious why they opposed your opinions.
Probably. That's probably true. I'm a little too young, maybe.
Boomers, baby.
Yeah, I'm a little too young and progressive, I think, for some of them. But which is funny because I feel like the love I get is from the younger crowd.
Well, it was funny because it was actually the
like,
specifics.
Your mom's great.
It was like 70% between the ages of 55 and 65.
Of course it was.
So it was definitely 100%. The boomers.
Yeah, and I'm
shout out my boomers. I don't hate y'all. So if you want to watch the channel and subscribe and show love, like it's not everyone, but
yeah. Well, I think a lot of people make some broad assumptions. Like I'm 47, so I'm not young. I'm definitely creeping in closer to the older ages. But I've always felt like the youth and the voice of the youth and understanding that is like incredibly important, because those are the ones that are going to be running the show when I'm like 70 years old, and I want them to give a shit about me.
You know, it's
I want them
funny?
not to hate me, but I want to be interested in what they're interested in.
What's kind of funny to me, and like I was just thinking about this, is the fact that like I feel pretty confident that the majority of like trolls on the internet are either super young or super old.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, I don't feel like the majority of people that are on the internet talking crazy are like
in the middle age range.
The 25 to 40
No.
like range. It's always like the junior high school kids.
Yep.
Or the super old people that are like, I'm gonna fucking die soon, so fuck you, I'm gonna say what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they
Like,
also
they start to give less of a shit about what people.
That's so true. Oh my God, that's probably absolutely accurate. And I also think that they were raised with a little bit of like a different decorum, and that I think maybe some of them are like releasing some of their like repressed and suppressed anger from being younger and not being able to say what they really wanted to say, because they were definitely not raised they were raised in the generation of like sit down, shut up, be seen, not heard, like you don't get to have an opinion. And so I think so many of them now that they've been unleashed this like keyboard warrior concept are like, I'm gonna fucking let it fly.
Yeah.
so they say some things that you're like, what the
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people that understand the internet that are older, but I think a lot of them sometimes think like, oh, there's zero repercussions, you know, like I just say whatever the fuck I want and nobody's going to know who I am.
Well, I mean, listen, it only actually matters now if you're still like coming up trying to get employed and like have a job and things like that. If you're like retired, like what does it matter?
Well,
like,
who the fuck's going to tell you can't?
Exactly. Nobody can cancel you. You can't lose your job. You're already retired.
That's a fact.
It's
It's all very interesting, but
it is wild.
I mean, to sum up like the reaction side of things, it's been really fun this last 5 or so weeks putting out this content and really doing what we've been talking about doing since I was in high school and junior high.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have
7 or more years. I wish we would have done it back then. My God.
I've told you this, Mom. Like,
I know.
I really like regret the fact that I didn't do all of this sooner. But at the end of the day, you know, there's no going back and changing that. So I think the fact that, you know, just under a year ago, I was like, fuck it. If I'm not going to do this now, like it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And I've always been passionate about the idea. I mean, I was a YouTube baby.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
To this day, every time I sit down to eat a meal, I turn on a YouTube video. It doesn't matter. Like, somebody could be having a conversation with me while I'm like getting ready to eat, and I won't take a bite or respond until I pick out which like YouTube video I'm gonna watch for my meal. You know?
I love that.
I feel like maybe like,
I mean, that you might need some counseling around that, but that's
maybe, or it's just something I don't know.
No, you're into it. I love it. We all have our things, right? I think what's so funny is the thing I love about this.
This is what brings the nerd out of me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we all have our thing that makes us geek out, right?
For sure.
And you should find what that is and tap in, because it does bring a ton of joy and it does bring a lot of life to you when you can find it. But one of the things that I think is really cool about this, that I guess here I am like finding the deep meaning, but it's this idea that just because you didn't do something back when you thought about doing it, you know, just because we didn't do it 7 years ago or 8 years ago, doesn't mean that you can't do it now. Doesn't mean that you can't pick that thing up whenever, you know, at any point in your life. Like, your life is not over.
Did you say pick that glove up?
No, pick that. What did I say?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you said pick that glove up. I don't know why, but maybe that's just because in my mind I was thinking baseball. Because I was going to mention how you were like, recently she was like, Jesh, like I played baseball. I wanted to play college, professional. I was very driven. I got hurt and ended up retiring and hanging up the jersey. A couple weeks ago, you were like, Jesh, you could always like start playing ball again and maybe, you know, you'd make it to the major leagues. And I'm like, I think it's a little too late for that.
It's not too late. You are literally just turned 23 in May. You're just now coming into your adult grown-up body. If you put in the work and effort, you have a bionic arm that they fix. That thing, the doctor said
they didn't fix it though. That's what I'm saying.
No, he did fix it. You didn't get to finish rehabbing the second time.
Because it wasn't working.
No, it was working.
It was painful. I couldn't throw the same.
Yeah, but you couldn't throw the same because it was too soon.
No. Mom, I think it's like literally like a 50-50 thing. Like where some guys, it really does like repair their elbow and like they get healthy. And then some guys, like it just doesn't do it. Like you're taking a risk.
Yeah, but
it's not 100%. It's not even 80%.
Yeah, but you were only a handful of months out from that surgery. And just because your body wasn't healing as quickly as what they had hoped or that you thought it should, doesn't mean that a year later or now, several years later, and you're completely healed, that you couldn't go back and work yourself into that shape.
I mean, maybe. I guess it's feasible, possibly.
He said everything in your arm looked good. You just probably needed more time to heal.
When did he say that?
He did. When you were right out of surgery, you were probably so
right
doped
out of
up.
surgery, probably.
Yeah, he came and talked to me, and he was like, I was worried that his ligaments were going to like look, more damaged. He said they actually look incredibly healthy. Well, he's like, his arm looks good.
I was 9 months in post-op, going to physical therapy and training on a weekly, if not daily. And 9 months in, it was still painful, and I could barely even touch 80 when I was touching low 90s.
Yeah, but sometimes it just takes longer.
Maybe. Yeah.
Get your ass in shape. I think we should all vote on whether Jesh like works his way back to the mound and sees what he could do. It's going to take a while. It would take a while.
Dude, if I got to like 100,000 subs this year,
would you do it?
I'll go train for 6 months straight and try out for a professional team.
There you go. Okay, you might have to like train a little longer, like maybe a year.
Like a year.
Yeah, like a solid year.
First things first, I got to lose this belly.
Well, that's why I'm giving you a year.
I'll start training right now in terms of like lose this fucking gut, but when it comes to like training for baseball and stuff, coffee. Mushroom coffee sounds disgusting.
It's so good for you.
I hate mushrooms.
Listen, this is where Jesh and
If you like mushrooms, you're a psycho.
No, that's not true.
Except for the goofy type.
Oh my God, no.
I love me some shroomies.
This is where Jesh and I go rounds on the health thing because I'm kind of a health nut. And I'm always looking for like the newest thing to like be healthy and like stay healthy and be like physically like, good. And again, I'm starting to realize maybe I do have a little bit of a fear of aging, just maybe slightly. I don't think it's like crazy, but I do think that where this all started for me was the idea that I wanted to be, super healthy and be around for you guys when you got older and got married and had kids. So for those of you that don't know, I was diagnosed with MS in 2006. So we're coming up on 17 years. Actually, it's going to be 18 years.
You should be dead by March.
Now. Exactly. Listen, after
what are you doing out of your grave?
Exactly. After 10 years, like it's supposed to be like a super downhill slide. But from the very beginning, I've been obsessed with figuring out how to like optimize my own like body's health. And it's different for everybody. And so much of that is like food and diet and exercise and stress levels and all that kind of stuff. So that's where I kind of geek out. I geek out around the health shit for sure. And trying new things and like the science is always changing and I love it. But if there's any proof that maybe there's some merits to it and it works, I hope that I'm proof of it because I weigh what I did in high school. I feel as healthy as I've ever felt. I feel like I'm in really great shape. And I'm 18 years in, almost 18 years into a diagnosis that was supposed to only get worse. And it's actually gotten better.
Bro, fuck off. You're just sitting here bragging when
I'm not a
60 pounds heavier than I was in high school.
Whatever.
God.
I'm just saying that the journey, I was too. When I got diagnosed with MS, Jesh, I weigh like probably 50.
You were not 60 pounds heavier.
Yes, I was.
No way.
Yes, I was. Yes, I'm at least 50 pounds less than I was then.
You were fat.
Yeah, I was. That's what stress and a shitty ass fucking diet. And
I don't remember you being big like that.
Oh boy, you were too young to remember. You were like 5. Yeah, trust me. I definitely was in an unhealthy, unfit space in life and a ton of stress and a ton of things that needed to get sorted out.
Damn.
And that, honestly, that was like my challenge was to figure out how to like be healthy. And I did. I cleaned it up and I got healthy, but I continue to take that like further down the road because it's so important. So I would say like I'm healthier now than I've ever been. I'd like to be more active. I'd like to, there's still room for me, but.
I'm not going to get into details, but I've been stuck at the house for a little while now, and it's definitely not been helpful. Well, it's been like 3 years now. First, it was COVID.
Yeah.
COVID and a 12-pack a day will keep the doctors away. Started putting on a little weight. And then for the last, 7 months, I started to lose some of it. And then for the last, no, longer than that, 10 months. Because I lost the car before that, too.
Yeah.
Remember? It's time to get out that little dungeon of mine and start putting in some real work.
Start with the food, please.
Maybe I'll just
90% of weight issues,
start
and this is
some
science.
TRT.
Here's some science, people. 90% of weight issues is diet. It's what you're putting in your mouth. It's what you're choosing to eat. And that doesn't mean that you're overeating calories. A lot of times that is what it is, but everybody's body is different, right? And so what might be okay for somebody else to digest and that they can stay in optimal weight at might not be okay for you. So you have to figure out what your body doesn't like, because when you're eating the things that your body doesn't digest well or doesn't want to, you're going to put on weight, keep on weight, no matter how much you go to the gym, no matter what you do. 90% of it is diet, and food it's not all the same. And I don't care what the American Diet Association or whatever, the FDA, whatever that food triangle is, listen, everybody's different. And until you play around enough to figure out what works for you and what your body's happy with and what you do well on and what you thrive on versus what you don't, you won't know. And everybody is different. So
that's a fact.
Yeah. So much of it is food related, people. And there's some good resources around that. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe you'll give me one of these episodes and we'll geek out around nutrition.
Is that thing accurate?
I started it late, so we're definitely into probably 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. I forgot to start
into the podcast?
Yeah, I forgot to start it.
Dude! If that's true, then
it is
I'm
true.
not gonna lie, we got so off track. We also started talking about a bunch of random shit. We talked about this before. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the content, keep it to about 25, 30 minutes. Do this every damn time.
This is what makes us great, though. I think people love to just watch us randomly shoot the shit sometimes. They do. I've gotten so much feedback on that. It's fun.
Well, if that's the case and it's been 45 minutes, I think we need to wrap it up here then.
It is. It has been.
Okay. Well, shit then. Damn, 45 minutes?
I think so.
I kept looking over. I saw you started it late, but I thought it was only 5 minutes late.
No, we're probably 40 minutes. Okay. I'm thinking. Because it's 5:45.
Well, I think that's a wrap for this episode then. This is episode 24? Yeah, 24.
Yeah, 24.
Of the Don't Do Stupid Shit podcast, and we're back. So
listen, if you want to see an episode of me geek out over nutrition stuff and talk about a lot of really great resources and a lot of things I've learned, you got to comment. Tell this one. He's the producer.
Dude.
He's got the keys to the kingdom of me geeking out around nutrition on the pod.
I'll set you up. You can have 2 mics to yourself.
2 mics.
2 mics to yourself.
Oh my God.
No, but
that's perfect.
Yeah, man. It was fun. I enjoy this new little setup. I'm geeking out even over the fact that, we got these mics and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it took us probably 45 minutes, an hour to get everything figured out because it's the first time we've really used all of this. So we're going to be trying to do episodes, or for sure episodes every other week.
Yeah.
But potentially throw in another, maybe a guest episode here and there in between. Yeah, we're back. So it's been 2 months and we'll be consistent now.
We're back.
We appreciate you guys. If you guys listen this far,
you're the best.
Yeah, you're the best, first of all. But
super fans.
If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, any of that, make sure to rate the podcast. That helps us.
Yes, please.
If you're on YouTube and you're just now finding us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, or again, if you're new, make sure to like and comment too. That helps push this into the algorithm.
Yeah, spread the word.
This is, again,
and go to Jesh's YouTube and check out some of those Mom Reacts videos.
Janitor Jesh.
Yeah.
So
check it out. We're going to do some fun switch ups with that too in the future. So it'll be great. It's going to be a good time. So come along.
That's episode 24 of the Don't Do Stupid Shit podcast.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Deuce.
Peace.